Assalamualaikum. I am Hajera. My class roll is 11, section A. Today I am talking about European Renaissance, the most important context that will help us to understand the modern Western political thought. European Renaissance began in Florence, Italy, and spread across Europe between the 20th centuries and 16th centuries. Renaissance revived classical forms and ideas from ancient Greece and Rome in visual arts, architecture, literature, and philosophy. Now we will know what the Renaissance period is so important. The Renaissance period cultivated a new change in art, knowledge, and culture. It changed the way the citizens thought, with first the rediscovery of classical philosophy, literature, and art, as well as the new discoveries in travel, invention, and style. This era was so important that it changed the way the world thought, with new inventions, styles, and explorations that are still influential and occurring to this day. The term Renaissance man refers to the highly influential people who shaped this period of time. They were masters of inventions, engineering, and travel, with some of their discoveries and inventions still used widely to this day. The Renaissance changed Europe in many important ways. In visual arts, Renaissance artists and sculptors began to portray humans in a figurative, naturalistic, yet idealized way compared to their stylized and rigid medieval counterparts. Scientists focused on empirical observation, which led to major paradigm shift in the scientific revolution. In philosophy, European humanist thinkers returned to classical thought from ancient Greece and Rome. The printing press allowed the dissemination of ideas from Italy to northern Europe. Finally, explorers and conquerors launched the age of discovery. The religious counterpart of the Renaissance was the Protestant Reformation, which undermined the Catholic Church and gave birth to new Christian denominations. The Reformation provided the intellectual spirit for Northern Renaissance. Some events are closely related to European Renaissance, such as in 1347 to 1353, Black Death or bubonic plague in Europe causes mass death. In 14th century, the Renaissance begins in Italy. Giotto was a transitional figure between late Gothic and Renaissance art. Petrarch, Boccaccio, and Dante promote humanist ideals and the vernacular Italian language. Filippo Brunelleschi, the father of Renaissance architecture, worked in Florence. In the decade of 1430, painter John von Eyck works in present-day Belgium. Northern Renaissance in visual arts begins. In 1440 to 1450, Johannes Gutenberg invented a movable printing press. In Germany, the printing revolution begins in Europe. In 1492, Columbus set out on his transatlantic journey. The age of discovery and conquest begins. In 1501 to 1504, Michelangelo sculpted David. In 1503 to Leonardo paints Mona Lisa. In 1508 to 1514, Copernicus arrived at his key ideas, including the heliocentric astronomic model that were published in 1543. In 1509, Raphael paints the School of Athens. In 1517, Protestant Reformation begins with Martin Luther nailing his 95 Theses to the door of the Catholic Church in Germany. The Protestant Reformation challenged the power and the corruption of Catholic Church. Thinkers from different countries, including Martin Luther from Germany, Hildrich Zwingli from Switzerland, John Calvin from France, Erasmus from present-day Belgium argued that the church needed to be reformed. Humanist ideals also inspired them. Protestantism eventually split off and formed its own church. In some places in Europe, the Protestant comprised more radical movements such as the Anabaptists of the German-speaking lands and the French Huguenots. These groups were persecuted and many fled to the New World. Through the Renaissance, humanism moved away from medieval thought, defined by the strict theological scholasticism. Instead, humanist thinkers channeled ancient Greece and Rome as inspiration in the context of early modern Europe. Some of the greatest thinkers, authors, statesmen, scientists, and artists in human history thrived during this era, while global exploration opened up new lands and culture to European commerce. The Renaissance is credited with bridging the gap between the Middle Ages and modern day civilization. However, while the Renaissance had some positive impact for Europe, it had devastating impact for people of the Western Hemisphere. As plagues decimated indigenous populations and the survivors often found themselves enslaved and under the rule of European colonizers. This system of conquest, colonizations, and slavery also repeated itself in Africa as European power grew. Today, the ramifications of European colonization and slavery are still felt and hotly debated around the world.